guys? Easy money, rolling anti-lag off a switch. What's up guys, welcome back. Today's video we're going to be installing rolling anti-lag on the Civic, or attempting to at least. So I'm going to show you guys how to tap into the clutch wire. That way we can go ahead and just push a button and it'll activate anti-lag while we're in gear instead of having to push the clutch in to activate launch control. So we're going to go ahead and see if this works. I'm not really good with wiring, so bear with me. You guys can roast me in the comments, but let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to be doing a bunch of electrical stuff, so go ahead and disconnect the battery. That way you don't mess anything up. Not sure if it's necessary, but I like to do it just as a safety precaution. I'm going to make this straight and to the point. Hopefully it's a quick one for you guys. I just got some supplies at AutoZone. I got this push button momentary switch, butt connectors, some O-ring terminals, and some strippers and crimpers. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap into the clutch switch that's underneath there, and then we're pretty much going to run this button off of the clutch switch. That way the car thinks the clutch is pushed in. That way we'll be able to do rolling anti-lag while we're driving. So bear with me, the car's pretty dirty. I haven't vacuumed it in a while, but we're going to be underneath here messing with these. I'm also going to bypass the top switch there, which is what you need to push in the clutch to start the car. So I'm going to bypass that. That way you don't need to push the clutch in to start it. But this second one underneath here, this big silver one, that's the wires that we're going to tap into to run the rolling anti-lag. I'm probably going to run the wires over here, mount it somewhere over here. That way it's on my right-hand side. That way I can still hold the steering wheel. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug this yellow connector here on the top switch. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it. I was thinking of just snipping off the connector and heat shrinking the two wires together. But I have this connector. I'm just going to slip over both of these, and then you pretty much flop this over. Okay, it's really hard. Flop that over, crimp it down, and then it should attach those two wires together, and we shouldn't have to use the clutch to start it. All right, so I just slid that connector in there, so we got each wire going into each side. Then you just use your crimpers to push it down pretty much, and it'll squeeze that little metal piece in there. So now those two wires should be together. We're gonna go ahead and hook the battery up and try it out and see if the car starts. Battery's hooked up, moment of truth. You have to make sure you're in neutral with this mod, so that way you don't send your car forward. But let's see if it starts. Boom, no clutch. Sweet, that was easy enough. That took me about 30 seconds. Next up is the rolling anti-lag, so we're gonna disconnect the battery again, and then we're gonna hook up that. All right, now what we're gonna do is unplug this harness here for the actual clutch switch itself. All right, so with that unplugged, you're gonna pull back this loom here a little bit to get you a little more wiring. What we're gonna do is we're gonna snip each of these, and then we're gonna put some connectors on here. I'll show you exactly how to do it. We're gonna make our own kind of T-split on each of these. And pretty much there's gonna be one wire coming off of here going to the button, another wire coming off of here going to the button too. That way we can have this plugged in and we can still use launch control with the clutch when we're at a standstill. The other way I was thinking of doing it is just straight off cutting off this connector and wiring the switch to these two and just leaving this unplugged. All right, so we cut off the connector. Now we're gonna get our wire strippers and we're gonna strip off probably about an inch on each wire here. And then I'll show you how we're gonna connect the switch. All right, so I got some 14 gauge wire here. I think the stuff under the dash is 18 gauge, but my buddy JJ, who's really good with electrical, told me to always go with a bigger wire whenever you're wiring anything up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut probably two 2-foot sections of this, one for each wire that's gonna be going to the push button. So I'm gonna cut those to size. That way we have a little bit more wiggle room to mount it if we want to. And then I'll get back with you and show you how we're gonna wire this up. All right, so we got our wire cut right here. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and wrap these two wires together, and then we're gonna feed both of them into this connector here, and then we're gonna crimp that down and heat shrink it. And then from this connector here, we're gonna get the corresponding wire. I still gotta strip a little bit off the end of that, and that's gonna go in the other side. So you're gonna have the original wire plus your new wire coming from the switch going into one side, and then the connector side is gonna go into the other side. So you'll see it's gonna be like a T coupling once I get everything done here. All right, guys, so this is where we're at so far. I just twisted the wires together. So this is the stock wire that goes to the clutch sensor. And then this is the 14 gauge wire. Twist them together, put them in here. And then all I'm gonna do is get the black side of this, put it in there, crimp it all down, and then we should be able to have one side of the switch wired up, and we just gotta do the same thing for the other side. All right, now the side with the connectors in, all we're gonna do is heat shrink this with a lighter. All right, that should be okay for now. It's not pretty. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but that should be okay. All right, guys, I got the other side done now, so you can see I have a T coming off of each of those. I'm gonna electrical tape those up, but now I have 2 wires coming off here, so I'm gonna route these wires up and we're gonna put a switch somewhere. All right, so we got the 2 wires coming out from underneath the clutch pedal there now, so we're just gonna attach an O-ring terminal to each of these, crimp it on, and then we're gonna attach this to our switch. All right, here's the push button here. It actually goes in a little bit farther, but you shouldn't have to push it that much farther. I went ahead and got these on here. So it's time to hook up the battery. Hopefully this doesn't start a fire. If it does, I have a fire extinguisher. But we're gonna see if this can work as a clutch switch. So I'm gonna try and 2-step using this button and see if it works. If it does, I'll show you guys how to set it up in Honda. All right, guys, I have no idea what to expect. This is all just based on a theory, but we're gonna try it out. Make sure we're neutral, no clutch start. Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna let the car warm up a little bit before I start 2-stepping it, but first let's see if this works. All right, so it doesn't work like I thought it would. You actually have to have the clutch switch unplugged for it to work, but the button I got works backwards from what you need. Normally with Honda, when you have the clutch in and you push cancel, it'll show you what the 2 steps at. So it works backwards. For instance, if I push in the button and then press cancel, it doesn't go up. So pretty much I have to go get a toggle switch from AutoZone to replace this one. That way it'll literally be on and off. So I guess it'll be active when the switch is off, and on will be for regular driving. So yeah, it's kind of backwards from what I thought, but it's still gonna work. So we're gonna try it out. All right, guys, this is how you're gonna set up your rolling anti-lag. You're gonna find what RPM is good for racing. So I did some calculations on Tremex gear ratio calculator. So pretty much at 5,800, that's like perfect for a 40 roll in 2nd gear and a 3rd gear 60 roll, which is pretty much what you're gonna be using it for. So you're gonna put your anti-lag settings down there, whatever you want. You're gonna set the disengage speed here to anything over 60 if you plan on doing it with 60 roll. Just it has to be high enough of a number to where it's over the highest roll you're gonna do. We'll go ahead and put in 70 right there. Pretty much we're just gonna give it gas up to about, we're gonna give it gas up to about 58 miles per hour. And then we're gonna push the button or flip the switch, and then we're gonna just floor it, and it should cut us right there, and it'll cut the RPM. Let go of the button or flip the toggle switch, and then we should take off. So we'll see how this works. I'm gonna flash this on the car now. All right, guys, just went to AutoZone. I bought a toggle switch, so it should work now. We're about to try it out for the first time. I'm gonna do a 40 roll for you guys in 2nd gear, and hopefully this works. It is backwards, so off means that the 2-step is on, and on means that it's off. So I'm pretty much gonna give it gas, hit the limiter, flick the switch, and then we should take off. Guys, easy money, rolling anti-lag off a switch. Drop a like for that, comment, subscribe. No one else is dropping this knowledge. I'm gonna put a kit on my website with all the stuff you're gonna need. So yeah, I'm gonna do one more pull for you guys so you can see it. And yeah, this is absolutely insane.